Thank you, said Max, gulping down the coffee the postal clerk had provided him. The Carolina Central Postal Repository had mostly shut down due to the civic emergency, but one junior employee had been made to stay behind to keep the doors open. Employee Priority Mail was a short filly with a tennis coat, soft yellow mane, and a postal scale for a cutie mark, and she had been accommodating to Max as he could possibly be. Namely, she had provided him access to the titanically followed postal redirection instructions. This contained every change of address and other don't use it listed address sent to here instead noticed for the last 15 years, in an order that might as well have been random. She also provided him the coffee, which, having been running around for most of the day, excepting the part where he'd been beaten up by a criminal, Max sorely needed. It was ironic, the Baron thought, that lives might come down to his ability to get through the postal paperwork, given how much he hated the stuff. He determined easily enough that a redirect had indeed been used for Twilight Sparkle's mail 1 week ago, such that all letters sent from her to her family would have instead been sent to an address in the city. But I guess there might be multiple layers of redirects, and after 15 minutes of searching, he was proven right, as he found the instructions for that address insisted that all arriving mail sent by Twilight Sparkle should instead be sent to her third place. It took another 15 minutes of painstakingly searching through the book. Then there was a fourth address, and so forth. An hour had passed, and Max was still at the table. If they write about this, he thought, this is the part where they'll cut away to something more interesting. He smiled ruefully, but I never give up, and I'm not starting now. The fifth redirect sent Twilight's letters to 392 Silly Style Street. Mailing instructions for that address were not listed under seal, me, or stir. It wasn't even listed under his neighborhood or his district. Max flipped the paces, forcing himself not to give up. Poise under pressure, Max, just like Poisey says. Prairie Mail, do you have a street map? I think this one might be filed by building name. At least that's the only other thing I can think of. Prairie Mail came over with one, as well as a fresh cup of coffee, which he gulped down. You're seriousness. Your coffee might have saved dozens of last day. The clerk blushed. I didn't know it was that good. Max found 392 Silly Smile Street in the Atlas and noted it was the Peppy Pony Party Store. Looking back to the redirects, he saw nothing under Pep or Pone, but under Party he found it. Mail from Twilight Sparkle, redirect to... He paused. Priority mail. This address is just Gate 19 below. What street is that? It's not a street. Below me is the loading docks and airship base beneath Carolina itself. You're technically in another mailing zone. So he turned to page the street guide. Below the lowest level of the city, there's a path down to Canterhorn. Pretty big docks, mused Max, looking at the map. Wait, that might be enough to hold all the abducted ponies. Using just one facility would make it easier to avoid detection. So maybe he's been redirecting Twilight's mail to the same place where he's got his base of operations and all his captives. Unless, where do I find a redirect for those the instructions? We don't do automatic directs from below. A company courier has to redeliver the mail for us to those facilities. But we haven't had any pony like that come in for at least a week. It'll be in the records that they had, so... So this is the end of the line. Max sprang to his host. Thanks. He dashed for the door. I'll make sure I'll give you credit later, he yelled as he passed the streets. Prior Mail watched him go. Guess it was really good coffee, C decided. Cheerily had wanted to race off and fight Goliath right away, but Carrot Top had pointed out they didn't know where he might be hiding. Reluctantly, she had to agree to go back and rendezvous with Max. Did you really mean that Goliath might be trying to take down Fisher? Asked Carrot Top as they stood several meters away from the train station. Cheerily shrugged. Honestly, I don't know. If Goliath is as full like they say, he might not be able to think of consequences like that. One of the other ponies, the Shadowbolt or the one in the crane, assuming they aren't the same, is probably the mastermind just using Goliath for muscle. We should probably keep the possibility in mind. Do you think Fisher might be behind this? Shirley asked. I'd love to take him down, but honestly, there's no way he's responsible. He would have never tried to kill us in the tunnels. He wants us imprisoned in a secure vault, not dead. No, he's not behind this. He's made some terrible decisions, especially today, but he's not one of the vigilantes. But that's something, Caritas frowned. Actually, about the vigilantes, do you think we could beat them, especially Goliath? The teacher was silent for a long moment. With enough time, yes. I'm faster than him, and even he can't take unlimited hits. If I could take him down if I had an hour to pick away at him. But if he has hostages, she trailed off. Well, we'll think of something. Maybe Max will come back with a bunch of reinforcements, said Carrot Top. I hope so, but I doubt it. Shirley shook her head. Fisher has them chasing the mob and the Sun cultists. Trust me, when this is over, I'm approaching the hay out of Luna and telling her what I think of her War Master. I'll be right beside you, said Carrot Top. Speaking of that, any thoughts on formations for when we go after Goliath? I could be right beside you or even take point. She smiled. I'm happy to help. Shirley hesitated. Actually, I was hoping you could help in another way. The criminals were strong enough to take down Mafia thugs. Even if we can't beat them, we'll probably get hurt. We can mix us up some healing potions. She trailed off as Carrot Top's face fell. What's wrong? The farmer was silent for a long moment before sticking to her fetlocks. Sorry, she said. I know I'm not as good as a fight as you Cat Raindrops. Hey, Shirley said next to Carrot Top. You'd be helpful if you came with us to beat up the criminals too. Honest, it's just we don't have your herbology skills. And I don't have Raindrops' martial arts or your experiences running around the country, or even Max's hard head. Carrot Top sighed. I'm sorry. It's just I'm feeling kind of useless. I haven't been good for anything all day, and even the Mafia wasn't afraid of me. Maybe knew that knighting me was a mistake. Shirley put a hoof over her mouth. You, she said, are an industrious, dedicated, incredible mayor who has done so much for Ponyville and your friends as any one of us. She quirked a smile. And if I had to sit you down right next to Stales and explain this to you, I will. Carrot Top, you're an important member of the team. It's just that... Make out! Make out! Make out! It didn't seem to have an effect. Carrot Top just sighed and said, Right now, it's better for the team if I hang back and work on healing potions. The farmer nodded. I'll do it. Don't worry. I just wish I wasn't so useless compared to the rest of you. You're not. As the two talked, Raindrop sat down with Snails a few feet away. That was a great spell, he told her brother, for about the fifth time. I could see everything. It's like you got a camera in your eyes. I know, said Snails. He sounded faintly proud and even a little pleased. Not as much as Raindrop's would liked, but she would take it. See, you said earlier you weren't good at anything, but this was a great one right there, Snails nodded. So, now that you get your wonderful little brother exactly what his sister is also as I deserves, right? Snails nodded, and the Marionette Raindrops knew implied partial agreement. What? Asked Raindrops. Why don't you agree? No, I do. Snails took a long moment to speak again. I'm just worried. About what? If I'm only good at things like bugs and memory spells. Oh, come on! Because they don't come up a lot. He paused. Raindrops, when we go home, can you help me figure out when the things I'm good at are really important and matter all the time? You know, the problem with this is what really cheeses me off is that I know how realistic this is. This fic is broaching a topic that is really important, and it is realistic to imagine a character going through this. That somebody who can say, oh look, see, this is what you're good at. And then you hear them bring this up. It is painful to remember because at that point, they're really trying hard to figure out why, and now they're looking for excuses for why they can't. Depression is a very addictive drug, and it's really hard to get out of. Because mentally, you're going to want to hear more about why this doesn't work, and even when you get something happy, that moment the pressure's gonna hit you, you're gonna be like, well, yeah, but... It's hard. Snail smiled, a truly happy smile. First Raindrop's seen since he fled to the Sanctarium. Raindrops embraced him. Knights! She looked up to see Max galloping into the empty square. There were only ponies in the usually crowded open area in front of the train station. It's quite the 24 guards standing in front of him, but just inside the station itself. It was, Raindrops thought, a frankly creepy feeling. How did your investigation go? We think we know the identity of that pony shooting those magic bombs at us, said Raindrops. Goliath used to work for Archie Fisher. We already know about the fake agent sneak attack, said Carrot Top. That just leaves one that we know of, the one in the crane. Assuming he's not the Shadow Bolt. I'm pretty sure sneak attack's a real Shadow Bolt. Max dressed one hoof towards the edge of the street. But more importantly, I think I found their base. I think the bad guys are hiding at Gate 19 below. It's one of the airship docks. It's where Twilight's Lairs your family reported. And it's big enough to hold all the prisoners. So there'd not be an airship there? Asked Carrot Top. No, said Cheerily. If none of it's away, I'll bet anything whatever airship's supposed to be using that dock is on a trip halfway around the world by now. Anybody coming with us? Asked Raindrops. Max sighed. I have a stallion rounding some up, but I guess they aren't here yet. Public transportation and carriages are all shut down. We don't have time to wait. Cheerily's voice broke no argument. For all we know, Goliath and his partners could already be ready to kill their prisoners right now. We have to go. Max looked pained, but... She's right, Max, said Carrot Top. We can't wait. The Baron was quiet for a moment. You're right, he said at last. I just wish there was some other way to do that. When the guards I found get here, they'll know where to meet us. Carrot Top held a hoof to try one of the guards outside the train station. I'm Carrot Top, Knight, and I have a favor to ask. Could you please keep an eye out for... She looked back at Max. How many? About a dozen prison guards. A dozen prison guard type ponies, and they come to the square, telling that Baron Max and the Knights went to Gate 19 below. The guard went to glance at their pony, one wearing an officer's signature, who nodded. They're Knights, she said. We trust you. We're not allowed to leave our post, but we'll pass along a message, if that'll help. It will, said Carrot Top. Thank you. She wanted back to the group. Anything else? Yes, said Max. Dame Raindrops, your brother. Snails hugged Raindrops as she had to back. Just a little longer, Snails, she said. Then I'll spend all the time in the world with you if you want. Snails smiled a little. I know. Be in some more bad guys, okay? I promise. Where can we leave him? Sneered Shirley. I doubt the daycares will be open. Max, do you have any friends who might be willing to let a foal like Snail stay with them for a bit? Most of them are in the castle, which is blocked off. Max frowned. The rest? Honestly, I worried that if something did happen, they wouldn't be strong enough to protect Snails. Raindrops groaned. Please tell me we have some option besides taking Snails into a battle against Shadow Bolt, explosive experts with the mail of a foal, and that crane operator maniac? Well, said Max, we do have one other option. A few seconds later. I hate this option, said Raindrops. Relax, Cheerily said. We were planning on making a pit stop here anyway. Why in the world of Equestria would we do that? Raindrops demanded. Max just smiled at the banter and opened the warehouse door. Greengrass was waiting for them by the time they reached the bottom of the steps. Why, hello, he said. Saved the day yet? Working on it, Max said. We were hoping we could leave Snails with you. Hope isn't quite the right word. Raindrops stepped down the stairs and looked around. She hadn't inspected all the vegetation. Whoa! Yes, beautiful, isn't it? If Greengrass was bothered by the elements being in his garden, he gave no sign of it. Instead, he raised the hoof and swept it across his plants. Flowers from all corners of Equestria, carefully tended to in order that they reach their peak of beauty. Marvelous, if I say so myself. Snails headed down the stairs after Raindrops, smiling up at Greengrass. Mr. Greengrass, can I stay with you for a little bit? My sister has to go save the world. Of course, said Greengrass. Go have fun. In fact, I think I saw an albino bumblebee hovering by a patch of fire lilies over there. Wow! Raindrops couldn't help but grin as Snail scampered over. He listened to Greengrass's calls to stay on the path. Thanks, Mr. Greengrass. Shirley descended to the basement. Where's Twilight, Greengrass? She was supposed to be staying with you. She should be in the garden, said. He turned and raised his voice to call. Miss Sparkle, your friends wish to check on you. A door on the western wall of the room opened, and Twilight put her head out. The sparkling ring was still around her horn. I'm fine, she yelled. I was working on a potion to lower my magic enough to get this ring off. Herbality's not my strong suit, but I'm sure I'll get it in a few hours. Greengrass turned back to the elements. Anything else? Yeah. Raindrops slapped her wings and moved right in front of Greengrass's face. Look, we're pressed for time, so I'll make this quick. You hurt my brother? I'll make you wish you were back with the Sun Cult. Got it? The Duke beamed. Of course, I. Raindrops saw a hoof and slanted against his mouth, forcing it shut. This isn't a joke, she hissed. Lose the grin now. Greengrass seemed unperturbed. We're raindrops, he said, once the mare had removed her hoof. You mean you haven't forgiven me after all this time? Baron Max has, and you might have fooled him, but you won't fool me. I haven't forgiven or forgotten any of the horrible things you put us through. Raindrops' eyes blazed like fire. You broke Octavia to get to Lyra, and you almost wrecked both of them. You sent two con artists and Carrot Top to get her to work for you. You put Tracy through Tartarus just so you can wrangle political advantage from her. You're a bad pony, and bad ponies like you don't change and don't deserve forgiveness. Well, at least I never maimed a friend of mine at flight camp, said Greengrass in a breezy tone. Raindrops had to take a few moments as to avoid decking to Pony. That's different, you know it, she growled. I did one bad thing and changed. Your whole life is bad. Duke's smile faded. Is that so? He asked. Yeah, it's so. So it will appeal to your better nature. I'm speaking your language, Greengrass. And that's to say, if Snails gets hurt, I'll make you suffer. Are we clear? Of course, Dame. Greengrass gave a theatrical brow. I solemnly swear I will not let any harm befall your brother. I promise. You better not, said Raindrops. Max tried over. Actually, Raindrops, I think you changed a bit. Really, said Greengrass almost airily. I don't. Raindrops, we might be able to provide Snails with another chaperone for a little while longer, said Shirley. She turned to Carrot Top, who had entered the garden last. Does this look like it'll work for you? The farmer was gazing at the plants with a look of wonder. Her happiness seemed to have been washed out by the sight of the gorgeous garden. Oh, yes, she whispered. This is a fantastic selection. Selection? Greengrass frowned. This is not a flower shop. You know, if this were the human world, I would think that he was insulted, thinking that this was just a normal flower shop with little doilies and stuff like that. But since this is the pony world, I feel like he just felt insulted and she just called it a fast food place. Think about it, won't you? No, but we were hoping you would allow Carrot Top to use some of these plants to make healing potions, said Shirley, seeing as how all the shops are closed. Also, she could make a potion to help Twilight. If she could get that ring off, she could really aid us against the abductors. Raindrops blinked. How did you know these flowers might be useful for that? Oh, I dated an alchemist for a while, Shirley said with a fake grin. Greengrass meanwhile looked incredulous. You want me to let you tear up my garden? Why would I do that? Because we're asking nicely, drawled Raindrops. I suppose I could refuse you in the players of ways. Would that help? Greengrass smiled. A few hours ago, you were too good for my help. A few minutes ago, you threatened me. Now you come back on bended knee and expect me to provide assistance. What's in it for me? If I help you, will you tell Luna I have achieved redemption and to retake my seat on the court? Max tried in front of the elements and said simply, Greengrass lives are at stake. I fail to see why I should not attain at least some benefit. and I seem to recall how you felt when your secretary's life was at stake, and no pony would help you because they thought it was more important to make sure Princess Luna didn't get mad at them for working with you, and that Nori's life was trivial compared to that. Is that what you're telling the elements now? That a few flowers and some favor are more important than the potion that keeps them alive? Greengrass said nothing for a moment. Finally, he managed, "That's a bit low, don't you think?" "Hey, Posey taught me how to be noble, but you're the one who taught me that noble doesn't always mean nice." The noble sighed. "Indeed I did. Well played. You may harvest as you please, Dean Carrot." "Excuse me one sec." "Yes, this is the house of a common Starlight Hater. Would you mind opening the door?" Drag. "You see, this is a guy who you should have a hard time giving out redemption to." "Starlight did what? Change history?" "Oh no! The history that she changed got fixed. And she enslaved a town. A town that forgave her, by the way, in a montage. And considering the show that we're talking about, that's perfectly A-okay. We don't need a multi-episode, week-long arc of people forgiving Starlight per minute. Now, in a show like this, it would get boring real damn quick, and I would be annoyed. But there was that one episode where she did the mind control. One episode. You got one episode where she fell back onto something because she was nervous and scared. Are you telling me right now, looking me in the face, that when you're scared and nervous, you don't make a mistake? Yes. You sanctimonious prick! Look, here's the difference between Starlight and Greengrass here. Greengrass has a ton of crap. And we never seen anything. The elements never seen him done anything that shows his other sides. We may have seen it. We may have introspective. But the elements, they don't. And he has yet to show any reason why we should care. That is the difference. Starlight actually does show reasons. He does show that he's trying. That is the big difference between the two. And that's why Greengrass works so well. Carrot Top grinned and immediately ran into the garden, squeaking like a foal on heartwarming Eve. Greengrass turned back to the knights. "Well, you have failed yourselves in my secret hideout and my plans. What else would you like of me?" "Nothing for now, but we'll let you know if we change our minds." Cheerily turned to Raindrops and Max. "That's everything. Carrot Top and Twilight will catch up when they can, but for now, we have lives to save," said Max. "All the ponies that were abducted, Fecoxen, Duty, Enpei, Anacor, the Mafia escapees, and the rest, we'll save them." Raindrops shut her eyes. "I could refuse. I could say that I won't go, and I'll stay here with snails, and I won't put my life at stake to save criminal beasts." Raindrops? Asked Shirley. "You ready to go?" She looked back to her brother, who was gazing at the big bud crawling up a flower stem. "No, I'll go because I have to, but they'll pay for this. Vigilantes and the rest of them." "Yes," she said, "let's go." A few minutes after they left, a thin, lanky mare peered out from within a neighboring alley. After looking around for a few moments, she ducked inside and cast a spell. "Stop, Pina," the clubby host said. "I heard everything. The elements, Raindrops, and Cheerily plan to attack the ponies to have our bosses. We're going with some noble of the court that never heard of. They left a little brother in a warehouse with Carrot Top. Greengrass ponies turned for the court 6 months ago. Nightlight Star, Twilight Sparkle." Back in space, Stampina grinned. "Good, very good. So I continue tailing them?" No need. We'll come to this." "Huh?" Stampina turned to her thugs. "Go to the Red House. Capture every pony inside, especially the brother and the other knight. Got it?" The thugs nodded. "Good," Stampina chuckled. "We'll let the knights do all the hard work freeing our bosses. Then we'll just tell them if they want the snails and carrots back, they'll give us the Lucas and help them get out of town. And if they don't believe us, She grinned and took a heavy sap from her desk. Then we can have fun.